Hi guys, and welcome to Dev Diary for the 22nd of April 2018. So we've quite a few changes and quite a few updates to get through in this episode. I've been joined on the team quite a lot lately by another team member, and I'll go into that maybe a bit more in the next Dev Diary. But for now I want to show you quickly some of the changes that have been going on. To start off with, you may notice up here in the top left hand corner we now have source control enabled, and I'm going to go into that a bit more after I show you, after we jump in and we have a look at what's going on. So if I go to play a new editor window, we'll give it a minute. Okay. So, you may notice straight away that we have some HUD elements. Up in the top left hand corner we have health and stamina, and there's also an area there, that kind of that round area, the stone area, which is going to show kind of status effects, you know, whether the player's frozen and kind of stuff like that. If I look up in the sky, you'll notice that around the crosshair I've placed kind of a black border or stroke, just because I like the white crosshair, that kind of design, but when we looked up in the sky it would be all but useless against a white background. So that's some of the changes. In the bottom right hand corner then we have the elements. These are our player's basic attacks. We have the one that's selected right now is Earth, and travelling in a clockwise direction from there we have wind next, at the bottom water, and then on the left hand side fire. Now in my current build of the game, they're not hooked up, but they are working, and something I hope to show you in the next episode. For now, in this build, they're not exactly working. Again, that's something that I'm going to get into later on. One major difference you might know is if I go to my stone now, these fast travel points, I get an interact notification. So I can either press B on the control pad or E, and since I'm playing on a keyboard I'll press E. For now I've deactivated the music in the fast travel menu, just because after a while it starts to get to you. So I'm going to pick quite a long distance. We're here in this place here called Perforce, so we're going to fast travel quite a distance. We're going to go to the opposite end of the island. And you may notice there that our loading screen came up, and now depending on our distance you can see that the time of day has changed. So just to show you again, I'm going to travel another bit of a distance, and it should be quite dark. So it's just about, I imagine about 11 o'clock. So again, I'm going to fast travel over here, and you can see that it's even darker now. We're in around midnight there. If I travel again, I'm going to go a long distance this time. It should be closer to dawn. No. Well, we'll travel again. Yeah, so it's starting to get bright now, coming close to dawn. So that may not seem like much, but that's quite a major major change to have in the game, and it's something that will not only allow us to control the time of day with fast traveling, but it'll also have an influence. The same technique can be used in other aspects of the game. So I'm going to come out of that now, and I'll talk you through some of the other kind of updates and changes to the project so far. As I said before, it's been a busy week. I've not only been working on software and UI, but I've been busy working on hardware. So one of the goals in the last week or two has been to get source control up and going for the project. We're getting to a stage now with other people working on the project that it's essential that source control is up and going. With that in mind, I decided to go for Perforce source control. And I just run you through the basic concepts. So over on the left hand top corner we can see our local workstation, and that's connected to our router. In the bottom right hand or left hand corner you'll see our server, which is also connected to the router. And within our Perforce network, our local network, that's how we draw down our files to work on. It's the same idea then for off-site workstations and people working remotely. Colleagues and collaborators will be connecting through the WAN, the World Area Network, through the router and to the server. My first job was to configure the hardware. Things are getting busy now with work, so I need some source control, so I'm going to configure this as a server. So yeah, hopefully in the next couple of minutes I'll get the board out, start getting things ready and start mounting it in the case. I have for this I have two of these guys. They are Seagate IronWolf's NAS drives, so I'll be hooking them up in RAID inside here. So this is basically going to be a source control server for the project, and I'm going to be running Perforce on this, so that when I'm collaborating with people they can dial in and get what they need. Yeah, so cool guys. I'll cut back once I have mounted everything inside and give you a better look at what's going on. So guys, just installing Windows now off a USB DVD drive, and you can see down here we've got our two hard drives, 1 terabyte set up in RAID, and in there we've got our SSD. I might actually stick with the stock Intel heatsink, but we have one of those silly lit fans that's drawn air in through the front and it's been vented out the back. System seems to be running cool. I haven't put it under any load, but it's idling at around 20 degrees, around 20 degrees on the CPU. It's not the most powerful CPU in the world. I'll put the specs up in the description, but we've got 4 gigabytes of DDR4, 2400 megahertz there. I'm just using the Intel onboard graphics. This is a server, so I may do other stuff with it in the future, but for now it's a server. So yeah, it's all looking pretty good. It's nice and clean. There's no cables going across the board. Here's my setup. Got my workstation over here, and got the Perforce or Unreal Engine open here, and we should have the Perforce client over there. At the moment I've introduced SSL certificates, so at the moment I'm having some trouble with source control in Unreal, so I could still use the Perforce client, but the integration into Unreal isn't working so great. The server's down here running nice. It's about between 20 and 30 degrees on the CPU. It's fine. It's great. Up in the corner here I have the monitor for the Perforce server, and I can kind of see clients coming in and stuff like that. But yeah, it's working great. Just that problem with the SSL certificates, and I have to test the system to see if I can connect remotely. So here we are inside Unreal, and my source control is enabled, and I'll just show you quickly what was going on. I had not included SSL in lowercase before my IP address or the address of the server. With that done, it should be fine. So ignore this here. That's just kind of a mismatch going on there. It's actually not a problem. So just to show you quickly how this works, go to content, and I'm going to go into our interface graphics. I'm going to open one of these, and I'm just going to find one that I can do some changes on. A lot of these are UI, so their compression is set to by standard. So here's one for the crosshair, and you can see over here that it's set by default to DirectX 11, what we really want there for compression is user interface 2D, and it's a bit more lossless than that. Now you've seen there it gave me an error because I did that the wrong way around. I still have to get used to this. So okay, we're going to check that out. Source control, check out. I'm going to go to my log. I'm just going to check it. Yeah, we still have only that one red line. So that's checked out. I'm going to open it. Now with that checked out, I'm going to save. And we'll check it in and we'll submit it. So we can go in here and check in a single file, or you can submit to source control and all your checked out files should be submitted. So we'll do that. It's going to ask me for a change list description, and I'm going to call it dev diary, and I'll just, for my own sake, SSL working. SSL working. Okay, so there we go. So we've submitted that in our output log. Then you can see that save package, everything's worked out good. So it was a simple error of once I'd integrated SSL that I had SSL in the server address line in uppercase, and it should have been in lowercase. And I'm going to accept those settings. Another thing worth checking out is, I'll see if I can find it. So as you can see, in your project file you're going to have, in your workspace you're going to have, or in any Unreal project, even when you're not using source control, you're going to have saved, intermediate and build. Now strictly speaking, these aren't to be submitted to the source control. You don't want to be uploading these to your server, especially if you're working with a lot of people with different hardware setups on their machines. They're going to want to have unique ones of these for each client. So with that said, you need to tell Perforce to ignore those files. So with a quick Google search for Unreal and Perforce ignore, you'll find this page, and it basically shows you how to set that up. So we're just going to open this up. So it's a basic text document. We state the file types and the directories that you want to ignore. I was getting a lot of errors until I had set this up, because Perforce was trying to basically, it was telling me that I hadn't checked out intermediate and I hadn't checked out build or saved. So when it's caching files in those directories, shaders, things like that, textures, it's going to give out to you. So you want to jump on your server, create that file, stick it in a directory, and then there's a simple command. It's down here at the bottom. So it's P4 set, P4 ignore, and for sanity's sake, stick it on the root directory of your C drive in your server, and then equals to C drive P4 ignore.txt. And once that's done, Perforce shouldn't pick up those directories that are just going to cause you trouble. All in all, content, or the content folder, config, all those ones, stay away from the kind of important ones. But if you binaries, you might need that. Build, that can definitely be on the list. Intermediate and saved. And amongst those three folders, you're going to find that there's actually going to be quite a hefty file size to them, so they're worth getting out of there. And again, if you're sharing those with your teammates, you're going to cause trouble, because they're going to have different hardware setups, so it's going to want to create its own intermediate build and save files for those. So after encountering some problems connecting remotely and off-site, I decided to do a traceroute. The connection up until the point of the donate name server, or DNS, was fine. The trouble began when communication was coming back through my internet service provider. Firewalls on their end were blocking the connection. It's not a major problem. I will be able to upgrade my package with my internet service provider, giving me greater access to ports and the ability to host more services. So for our next episode, we should have off-site remote source control up and running. We should have a few more UI things in, and a lot more going on with the game. And hopefully I'll be able to share some new updates, some kind of exciting things that will be coming up in the near future too. So that's been episode 12 of Dev Diary, the 22nd of April 2018. Our next episode will be episode 13. Hopefully it's a lucky number for us. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll chat to you all again.